Air's
Right,
free.
right,
So,
right.
all right, what's next? What's next? Let's go.
Well, I think I'm gonna show you guys this little video right here, and I'm gonna ask you a question, and then I'm gonna tell you a story.
Whoa!
Not that video.
Whoa! Hello! Hey!
Hey.
Hey! Yo!
Calm down. Calm it the fuck down.
Oh, unidentified, unidentified, flying.
Yo, what is that?
It's just a wisp of cloud.
What do you guys think this shit is?
Didn't make it better.
Phone filters.
Yeah, it was already there. Do
I
what?
think it's just all fake.
You think it's
Yeah,
fake?
kinda.
Yeah, it's
And the ones that maybe
So,
are real
you
are
can't-
too few and far between to tell.
you can't
Yeah.
believe, like, when I can go on my phone and make a movie, like, special effects are getting to the point where you can do it on your phone and it looks like it's a movie.
Right.
You know, so
Okay.
you can't
Yeah.
believe anything you see. But that being said, okay, I'm not going to believe anything I see on a video. If it is involving aliens or anything of that source, I would have to see it in person to fully believe it.
Yeah.
I'm not
So
I'm
here we
not
go.
going to believe anything
Yeah.
that I, you know.
Right on. So this little snippet of the video is what made me want to ask you guys this question. What is the closest thing that you've ever had in your personal life that has made you say, "Damn, that might have been like aliens," or "Did I just see a spaceship?" You know, that kind of question.
I don't have any
Either
alien
one of
ones.
you,
I
I mean.
have no alien ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Like something you just couldn't explain.
I've had a
was in the
weird,
sky.
I've had a weird spooky thing happen, but
I
know it was
I've
just
had supernatural things happen, but I haven't like not like good supernatural things. Like, I've had scary stuff happen
Right. Okay.
to me.
Well, we're talking
Like,
about aliens right now.
well, no, yeah, I know that, but that's what I'm saying. I've never
Yeah.
seen anything in the sky where I was like, oh, that's sus, you know. And I've never seen anything where I believe it because it's so easy to fake that stuff,
Right. Okay.
you know.
Right on.
Have you?
Yeah, I have. I have one time where I cannot. It did not matter what I did. There is no possible way for me to explain it. I was driving home from work, and
when
it's
was
dark,
this? When
and I'm like,
when did it happen?
Probably about 6 months ago. Yeah, it would have been like 6 months ago.
Pretty
Okay.
recent.
This is recent.
Fresh.
Yeah. And yeah, it would have been 4 to 6 months ago. Like right. It was before the new year, so it would have been somewhere between October and December. So I was driving home, and it's dark, and I'm driving down, and I know neither one of you. Well, Ethan's been to my house, but there's this long straightaway like on the highway that goes out to my house, and I get on this like long straightaway, and I'm like looking out over, in the distance, and I see this like blue light, okay, and it's not moving, but the closer I get, it like starts moving, and then it becomes this long line of blue lights, okay, and it's like pretty low in the sky. I mean, I don't know how low because it was dark and I'm not a fucking physicist or something that can like calculate that shit. But so I'm driving down the straightaway, and the first thing I think of is, man, no one's gonna fucking believe this. And so I'm like trying to get my phone out, right? I'm like trying to drive and then take this video, and BT dubs, it's not safe, don't do that. But I needed to have some sort of proof, and the only proof I had is this like ugly flash picture where all you see is my window and then just like a faint dot in the sky.
Because you're the dingus who didn't
roll
turn
my
his
window
flash off.
Yeah. Okay. So it gets worse, or it gets not worse, but better. So I'm driving, and this thing starts like moving, right? But now at this point, like I'm almost on it, and it like starts doing this like snake motion. okay? And is following me as I turn the corner. It's like it's doing one of these numbers where it's like parallel, okay? And it's still doing the snake thing, right? And so I go around another corner and I'm like, dude, this thing's gonna go right over the top of me. Okay. And so like I whip, there's this gravel road, and I like whip the car in there and try to pull like a full on 360. Or not, yeah. So I can like watch it as it goes over me. So like I whip into the gravel road right as it's passing over me, and I get the car turned around and the thing is just gone. Not there anymore. That's the only time I have ever not been able to explain. Like I've seen some things in the sky, you know, off in the distance, but then you go there the next day and you realize it's just like, oh, that's a tower and there's a light that's like
Right.
flashing, you know. That is the only time I have ever not been able to explain it. I don't know if it was like a drone. I don't think it was a drone, because that would have had to been one damn big drone. You know, I mean, we're talking like the length of a semi truck, probably, like with trailer.
Yeah. So it's not like multiple drones though, right? Because they have like those
Dude,
they have those drone light shows and stuff
Look,
too.
you know where this is, okay? Like
No, I get
It's-
it.
it's like in the middle of nowhere. Why the fuck would there be a drone light
I don't know,
show
somebody just-
in the middle of nowhere?
Somebody practicing with one or something. I don't know what they can
It could
do.
be. It could be. Like
I mean, it's
that
weird
is-
that
that
it,
is the
it would
closest
follow
thing
you, but
I've ever had to a UFO experience ever in my life.
yeah. So I'm now going to get off topic because
Oh, boy.
we don't have anything to relate to this, but
Mhm.
we're just going to stay in this realm of the unexplainable,
Mhm.
right? Q,
Yeah.
what's the creepy thing or things that have happened to you? So we're going to get into the supernatural here.
Is this our tonight on Unsolved Mysteries?
Yeah. I'm curious to hear Q's, and then I'm going to give mine.
Okay.
We're gonna
okay.
find
Yeah,
out who
that's
gives
fine.
a shit about Bigfoot.
I remember this one pretty. And obviously, it was nothing. It was just a creepy situation. So I was driving back from my girlfriend's house, and you guys know where Cody lives, right? You guys been out there?
Mm-hmm.
It
The
was
old house? Which
no,
house?
the one he's in now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you creeping through those turns and stuff, and they've got all those old bridges, and so I'm driving, and it's a dark and foggy night. It was pretty foggy, but on the side of the road, I like drove by and I see this gigantic like dog, okay, and it looked like it was just mangled and it had like its fur fallen off and its legs looked all bloody, and it was just like a gigantic white dog. And it was just kind of the way it looked, and then with the fog and stuff, obviously it was just a farm dog, I'm sure. But
Yeah.
it all kind of happened in slow motion when I drove by. And yeah, it kind of like spooked me there for a few minutes,
Hold on. So here's the thing, and I know our imaginations play into a thing, but there's also like, do you guys ever, when you get that creepy feeling where you're just like, if I stay or like if I go closer to this thing, I could die. Like, you know how like there's just something inside of you sometimes where you're just like danger, or like you.
Oh yeah.
have
Whenever
that?
I found a dead body in an abandoned house.
Did you?
Yeah.
What you did?
Yeah. Yeah.
How?
I don't know if it was a dead body. We were way too scared to like go
When was
go
that?
see if it was, dude. So long story, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but like I swear to you, it was a dead body. It smelled like a dead body. But my cousins and my brother will to this day tell you that it was a dead body. There was this abandoned house. They were like building a connecting road. This is in southern Missouri. We were at my dad's.
How old were
And,
you at this?
I was probably 10 or 11.
Okay.
So we used to ride our bikes because they were like making this connecting road, and it was like not finished, and for some reason they weren't working. And it was this giant where they built the dirt up, and we would ride the bikes along the dirt trail, and it connected to like outside the subdivision that they were living in. And there was this like old broken down farmhouse with all the windows busted out and everything. And we would go in there, and then like one day we went in there because we would like check out each day, every like a different room. And we went into the bedroom, and there was like these trash bags on a old ass bed inside this room, and it stunk to high heaven, like like when something's dead for a long time,
Yeah.
and it looked like, we were young, so definitely way too afraid to
Like get
do
close.
anything. Yeah. And it just kind of gave you that like creepy ass feeling, which is exactly what you're talking about. And so like we
Where
left
it's-
and never went back.
Yeah, but it's like it's so weird though, where you get this feeling where it's like danger, but like you don't, like it's not normally a dangerous situation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yours would be a little. I mean, it's like terror, but
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
sometimes when like you see someone where you just get a weird vibe. Like I can't explain this, but I'm getting a weird feeling right now, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna lock the doors, type thing,
Right.
or something like that. Q, have you ever had that happen to you?
Yeah, every time you'd be coming back into the house after it was dark, and you're like, you'd feel that
Yeah.
tingle on the back of your neck, you know what I'm saying? And then like you just hightail it to the door and shut it and lock it. When you were a kid, you guys ever do that?
Yeah.
Like you were,
Well, I
Makes
did
you
that-
walk a little
you were out
faster.
running
I did
your
that
freaking shadow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you were hightailing it.
Uh-huh.
I would do that when
Yeah,
I
or
was
you
going
run up
the
run up the stairs.
I'm like, I
Yes.
still do that when I turn the lights off. I turn the lights off.
Yes.
I'm like,
Oh shit! I gotta get out of here. Yeah.
Or like
go.
when
Yeah.
you're getting into bed when you're little and you're like, oh, my feet are right on the edge of the bed. Like, something gonna grab me.
Yeah.
yeah. So
Uh-huh.
I mean,
Dan Schneider's under there.
like, Dan Schneider's. Oh, Nickelodeon.
Okay, then I'm sorry. I don't. Okay, continue.
So yeah. The point I'm trying to make is that there's times when you just get that feeling. You're right there. You're right there, Tyler.
Fucking, I'm losing it. Like that was so funny.
What was so funny?
Dan
All I can
Schneider.
think about is just fucking Dan Schneider just popping out.
He's just
Hey!
he's just picturing Dan Schneider's fat ass.
Yeah.
It makes me
Okay.
so sad that Dan Schneider played the old man on the Amanda Show. Like now that because I didn't know who he was, but that was like my favorite skit when
Yeah.
she would prank call the old man. He's like, I don't know who you are,
Yeah.
you know, and stuff like it was hilarious. But then you look at him, you're just like, you fat bastard, and all the
Yeah.
dirty stuff you did,
Yes.
But I mean, just if you need proof, just look at how Amanda turned out.
Poor
Yeah,
girl.
it's true.
Talk about like somebody who just is not the same. I mean, like to our childhood, she was Taylor Swift of our childhood, right? Like
Yeah.
the Amanda Show, when she showed up on all that, and then once she got the Amanda Show, like then she did She's the Man. Like she had all these good movies too.
What was that one with the blue guy, the guy that turned blue?
That's Turned Blue.
Big Fat Liar. Wasn't that Big Fat Liar?
Yeah, Big Fat Liar. Yeah, that one was good too.
Was she was
I
in
think she
it?
went crazy.
Was she in Big Fat Liar?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
We
No, I
actually
didn't know.
watched She's the Man not that long ago.
But that was when she matured, and she matured along with us young boys.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
she's my
This is
age
going-
actually.
It's going a
Yeah.
little weird.
What are you talking about? No, I'm just saying we started taking more interest in women that looked like older Amanda Bynes is what I'm saying. That's what
Yeah.
I'm getting at. So,
Right on.
but yeah, so like it's just that whole situation is crazy. But what I was saying before, we got on this subject was that I've had an experience where I woke up, and so I was asleep, and I woke up and I saw something in like the corner of my room, and I couldn't move. Like I just felt pressure on my chest, and like I couldn't speak and I couldn't move and stuff. But I saw something. It was just an outline and figure. And then like if you go look that up, they're like, oh, it's just a sleep thing where you just wake up, but you're not fully awake yet. There's actually a medical condition for it. Like you can look it up. But it's like when it was happening, I swear that I saw something, and it like locked my body up,
Yeah.
And so it's
you-
like I don't think that this is. I know there's a medical name for it and stuff, but I was like, I don't think that that's what caused it because I've never had it happen
Yeah.
again.
Q, did you ever had something happen like that?
Nope.
No, I've had it happen once in my life. I got 2 points for you, Ethan. Once in my life, I was terrified, could not move. Okay, it's a stormy night. Woke me up in the middle of the night, and then
It got really bright in here.
yeah, I could not move. Like I could not physically get my legs to work. Okay, finally, whatever kind of it's called sleep paralysis is what you're talking about. Whatever, I was able to free myself of the curse of the demon, and I fucking hopped out of bed like quicker and shit, turned the light on, and all it was a coat in the corner of my room hanging.
Yeah.
And of course, regardless, beside the point, but I sort of understand where you're coming from.
Yeah. I would think that, for me personally, but my light was on in this instance.
Okay.
So it wasn't
Okay,
dark.
fair enough.
It wasn't dark because I fell asleep with the TV on.
What was it though?
Yeah.
And so like there was my TV was on, there was light in the room.
Right, but my TV was on too, but it was just enough
Yeah.
to where it was
it was but so
like
like
a
it,
dark corner of the room.
and I get what you're saying, but like for me it was really because it was not there when I flipped like my big light on.
Yeah.
It was not there. Like
Right.
it wasn't like something popped where it was and I was just seeing like the shadow. So that
Right.
but also
Yeah.
to that point though, it just depends on your mindset. Like
Right, of course. Yes.
You
Yes.
know.
I understand.
what,
I understand.
but I do think there's something to that, and it's usually a pretty good instinct when you feel terror. Especially like with a human being. Like, have you ever talked to somebody and gotten that vibe before?
Sure have.
Yeah.
Where you talk to somebody and you're just like, there's like red flags going off from this person.
All over the place.
But seriously,
All over
like
the place,
where
yes.
you just, but they didn't do anything though. Like that's what's weird. And it's like that. It's like that. Pets are attuned to that, right? Like you see
Do you
it.
not realize the type of people I have to deal with every day?
No, I know what type. I've dealt with those people too.
Right. I've felt that feeling that you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah, but like we had it happen one time with a dog, and like, gentlest dog ever, but like this one person came around and that dog was like gonna kill that person.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me makes me be like, do I want you around my house?
Mm-hmm.
Like if my dog, who has never acted like this with anyone I've ever met, is now going off on this person, it makes me think like, are my children in danger? Stuff like, things like that.
Yeah.
And so I think there's something to that because that happened. And it's usually with somebody who hurts children or has done something like that.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's the most of the time, as maybe it's just because I'm a parent, but like I think that's usually when it happens. There's something in us that protects our children, and we just know.
Yeah. Yeah. I get you. Second point I have for you is, yes, we did tell our parents about the supposed dead body, just for everybody who might be wondering. Okay. We didn't just be like, oh, there's a fucking dead body, and then we left, like, yes, we did tell our parents.
Did they
I have
call
no
the cops?
idea what happened. I have no clue. I don't remember after that. I think they kind of were hush hush about it. Didn't really want us to
They're
know
like, "We
whether
don't-"
or not it was.
That's because they
So-
murdered him, Tyler.
It could have been.
That's
it could have
why
been, but,
you can fit. And then they
um,
moved the body, so we'll never know.
But yeah, I mean, we did a bunch of stupid shit. You know, like we were not
See,
supervised, and it was a group of boys, and we were pretty wild. So,
Dude,
you know,
I never. But yeah, I never did stuff like that.
well, you guys, I'll just keep that comment to myself.
I
'cause
mean, I will say
in
this.
case my mom or my dad watches this. So
I will say this, like when I hung out with one of my friends growing up, so it was a pastor's kid of our church that we were going to. We in his front lawn, we threw rocks at cars, like as
did
they were driving by, like trying to hit it and score points. And then
Mm-hmm.
we smacked a big old truck's windshield, and the dude slammed on his brakes.
oh
And
yeah.
you want to talk about two kids moving their asses. Dude,
bet.
we took off and hid in the bushes, and he walked up and rang the doorbell.
right.
And
right
then
on.
we both, I just, in my head, and this is like me going, because I don't remember most things when I was like 6 or my son's age. I in my head, I remember he was in one room, and it was like that archway. I was on one couch and he was on the other, and we were like on the opposite sides of the walls, and we were just yelling at each other about whose fault it was.
Yeah.
And like
yeah.
his mom is like standing there, like, do you guys understand why you're sitting here and stuff? And I'm just like, he talked me into it. And then he's like, no, you did it. You're the one who hit the
Yeah.
car. Like, and we were just screaming at each other because we were so mad
Yeah.
that we got. But I followed kid. Like, I never came up with the bad ideas, but I never said
Yeah.
no. Like, I remember going up to the grocery store and my friends stealing candy
Mhm.
and stuff, and then they got me to steal it, and then my parents found out. And then
Yeah.
you know, it's like that stuff always happened to me. And it happened one time. It happened one time in high school with a girl I was dating at the time. Because I had a minivan and I could fit a lot of people, so I drove her friends to Walmart, and none of them had any money, and they stole stuff at Walmart.
Yeah.
And when I found out, I was like, well, because I had a job, because I was not a degenerate.
yeah.
I was
Right.
like, I would have paid for it if they would have
Yeah.
asked me. And then I was like, too, I'm walking out. If they get caught, I'm leaving. And I
Yeah.
was like, your friends are never going anywhere ever again. Like, that's
Yeah.
what I said. I was like, I'm not going to be with them when we walk out of this place. And then I was like, two, if they're caught, I'm not staying. I'm gone.
Yeah. Right.
And she was like, yeah, it's okay. I'll tell them and stuff. They never got in my car again after that.
Yeah. Right. Right on.
Pissed
So
me
I
off.
do have a funny question for you, because you were talking about throwing rocks. It's a question for both of you, and then we'll move on. What is the greatest athletic feat you've ever accomplished?
I have so many.
Look at this big dick over here. Fucking, I have so many. Let me pull out the fucking Rolodex so I can look up the exact date and
I
time.
don't know. Nothing really too awful impressive. Like, what are you talking? Like in sports or just?
Just in what do
Yeah,
you consider
your entire life.
greatest?
I don't know, man.
Athletic
I'm like at
accomplishments.
peak performance now. You know, like look at me down there.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, there you
Right on.
go.
So
Yeah, that's funny. I'm trying to think.
I got one. I can just fire.
You go
it
ahead,
off
go ahead,
If you
go
guys,
ahead.
if you guys want a nice example, so this might not be impressive to most people, but I swear to you, I hit a cow in the ass with an apple from at least 70 yards.
It's a good one.
Okay.
That's actually.
Yeah.
You brought that up, and it rung a bell for me. It's very similar. Okay, so I'm out deer hunting. I'm sitting down. I'm under a hedge tree, And you know how like when a squirrel gets on you, they're like they just won't come off of you. Like they'll just start barking at you.
Yeah.
This thing just went on and on. And I finally got tired of it. I grabbed a hedge ball, and this thing's up in a tree, like it's a ways away. And I chucked that
Yeah.
hedge ball at him and hit him square off that limb. He fell to the ground, got up, ran back up in the tree, flipped me off, and then started doing it again.
Flip
But
me
I
off.
was like,
Jeez.
I was like, God dang, that was a freaking amazing throw.
He's like,
Yeah,
God, that was
that's
a
pretty
shot
good.
and a
That's
half.
amazing.
I was just like,
Yeah.
holy shit, I am like amazing. Or another good one, you guys ever do this where you're like, you're just sitting down or whatever, and you got a fly that's coming by, and then you just grab it out of the air, and you're like, oh, apex predator, right here.
No, I mean, we're not Mr. Miyagi.
You guys never
Dude,
grab one out of the air?
I've-
Like, you don't try?
I've seen.
Come on, you guys, yeah, I
I've
know you
seen
try
Tom
it,
do
and I know
it.
you get it once in a while.
Yeah.
Like, as it's flying out of the air, and
Yeah.
you're like, bam!
That's both
Yeah.
of those are rather impressive. And just so you know, it wasn't this was a full grown animal, okay, and they liked to eat apples. I was told to throw it, so I did it. Okay.
It didn't hurt the cow, obviously.
Yeah, no, it did
It
not.
was, if
Yeah,
anything, it
that's-
was thankful.
Yeah.
It's
It
like-
turned around and said, thank you.
Yes. So Ethan, what's yours?
Mine would probably be so did you guys ever, you guys growing up in the country, you guys four-wheeled when it would snow, right? Like pull a sled in a four-wheeler.
Yeah.
What kid didn't do that?
Right.
So there was one time we had a long sled, and my brother was driving the four-wheeler, and the sled didn't like have anything to hold on to, so we put this old like Persian rug that my mom had in our sunroom. We put it inside, and we were holding on to the rug on the four-wheeler. And so as we're going, my brother thinks it's a great idea to go and ramp like a road. So it's like, because we had a lagoon running back behind our house. So there was like a little road bump into a ditch. And so like he ramped the road and then took us. We flew. So it's me and a friend, and we're holding on to each other. And we literally airlifted in the rug and got air, and then landed back in the sled and kept going. So like we went airborne, the sled left our bodies, and then we traveled and hit back in the sled, took off.
Right. So you were like, okay.
It felt
Is that
it
Go
probably wasn't as, it probably didn't look as impressive as it felt, but it felt
Mhm.
amazing. Like we just, like, you know, that
Yeah.
scene where like the person like jumps off the vehicle and then goes through the window, and then
Uh-huh.
like the vehicle goes under, and then it like comes, and then they land back on it, or like they jump over
Yeah.
the train. I don't know. It felt cool. It's
it felt cool.
stupid now.
I'm cool. I'm cool. right,
Move on.
right
Move-
on, right
moving
on. Right on. Okay.